Attention duelists!
It's MoSSkast.
Hi everybody, I'm MoSSkast. I'm talking from the underworld, and with me, it's Venomking. He went undefeated the last tournament in the Honey's Progression tournament. Hi Venom, how are you?
I'm good.
Nice. Would you like to
Yeah.
talk about your deck?
Yeah. So the couple of tournaments that we had previously, my deck was like above 40. It was like I couldn't cut the cards down, and I was going for consistency power more than anything else. So I was trying to play around with it, trying to get it down to 40 as best I could. The lowest I had it, I was at 43, 42 cards at one point, and it wasn't really, that consistent yet. And then last week I bought the Kaiba starter, and then I messed around a little more, took out some cards I felt wasn't needed anymore. Like Last Will, I didn't have. If you look at my deck list, I didn't have that much monsters that I could summon off of it, so I took that out completely. I had 7 tributes. I felt like 6 was okay, but the 3 Thunder Dragons, the 2 Skulls, and whichever other um tribute I needed, I just saw that one in and out, whichever one that was. But the 2 Skulls and the 3 Thunder Dragons, I felt that was the perfect ratio for tributes that you really needed. You don't really need anything else. You know, the Summon Skulls just get over everything basically right now in the format that we're playing. Cerberus is good for 2100 gets over the 2K defenders, but at one point I saw that less people playing 2K defenders, so there's no point playing Cerberus. So I was like, well, I could just throw in the Red Eyes Black Dragon, have the polymerization, and I traded with Magzeo for his twin-headed Thunder Dragon, so that was another fusion target for Poly, which is why I ran the Poly and the Red Eyes Black Dragon, because it made more sense to have 2 targets for it. And the Summon Skull was searchable off of Witch. I could even draw it. Everyone else had Summon Skull, so it was another Monster Reborn target, so I was never out of Summon Skulls to summon either from the graveyard, from my hand. I just always had Skulls to play with Monster Reborn, Witches, and everyone else that was playing it, so it
Uh,
just made sense to play it.
I think you made a very good call about those 2 points that you have said. First, consistency. Your deck was a lot ahead in consistency about the other decks. And that you say about tribute monsters, I think that was a very call that nobody thought. Congrats for that.
Yeah,
I think you're right. I didn't think about it until you say it now, but yeah, I think there were a lot less 2K walls this tournament.
yeah. So, because when I was facing people, I always keep track of what they're playing, how many resources they have, and um that's what went into making this deck. Because the less I saw of the 2K defenders, the more confident I was in, the tributes started mattering less, and then you didn't need to play that many tributes anyways, which is why you see that I don't play Soul Exchange anymore. I was playing 2 previously, but I took those out because it didn't make any sense. Because the 1-for-1, you summon something, it gets trap hold, and you don't get a battle phase. So it's like no point in me playing the Soul Exchange. That's why I cut down to 1, put into a side deck. If someone was playing 2K defender, I could just side 1 in, take something out like the open offering. I felt wasn't something that I really needed to play either, because I saw less of it because it's only one I was playing it, and I really didn't resolve it that much. Most of the time, I held on to it for in case I had an open field, and a one in my opponent's attack so that I could set a man-eater bug that was in my hand. That's the only reason why I played it. Other than that, it was something I cited out consistently.
Yeah, I can see a lot of thought behind your deck decision because you are only playing 12 monsters that can be normal or set summoned.
Yeah, yeah,
Uh,
that's why Last Will wasn't. Yeah, that's why Last Will wasn't good either. Because of those 12 monsters, four of them are flip monsters, and the other six are above 1500, which left the last three targets the wall and the two witches. So it made no sense running Last Wills when I only had three targets for it.
right, of course, you are not playing Last Will, a very popular card in the format.
Yeah,
Why are you not
it's also
playing
why I
Sang?
wasn't. Yeah, I didn't have. Yeah, I didn't play any Sangans. I wish
Okay,
I did. I would have. Yeah, I would have added that to search. But for searches with the witches, I only ever searched my Thunder Dragons or some skull. So because you never want to hard draw into your Thunder Dragon or Summon Skull, you rather see something else off the top deck than those two cards.
yeah,
So because the Thunder Dragon is automatic +1, you just discard, you add two more. They're good discard foders. They're good for preventing people with the Robin Goblin magical hats. They attack you. They any card that you have in your hand that you want to discard your Thunder Dragon.
right. I can see you there. You deck have a lot of power spells. Triple Monster Reborn, triple Pot of Breed, and two Rayekis and two Heart of Chang. It must be said that two Change of Heart was pretty standard.
Yeah, so Change Your Hearts. It's an unfair card because you take something, especially when it's set. You could be a Banner Bug or a Magician of Fate. You take it, you flip it, you get back to Change Your Heart, you Pot of Greed, Monster Reborn, or Raigeki or Dark Hole, whichever. There's so many good spells early on in the game that I believe most of them were so powerful they got banned, you know, and never came off the list. Or if they came back, they came back when it was okay to come back because there was so many other better cards in it. I
Yeah,
mean, Monster
yeah.
Reborn right now is currently, yeah,
I
like
realized
Dark Hole
it.
came off.
I realized that usefulness about change of heart and something that you have already said um,
Yeah,
with soul exchange. I mean, why would you play soul exchange if you can play change of heart? And uh, in addition, because you are running the three Thunder Dragon, you have always live your change of heart. Because sometimes, if you are not running enough tribute monsters, you can doubt about should I waste my change of heart? Maybe it is not a useful flip monster, but
yeah.
you could be always pretty confident. If it's a flip monster, I get the effect. If not, I tribute it for Thunder Dragon.
Yeah, or you could attack with it, whichever. Summon another
Yeah.
monster. If it's enough for game, you flip it and then you use attack.
You were talking about Monster Reborn.
Yeah, the Monster Reborn 3 is so good, especially since. Well, I don't think for this whole tournament, I don't think I attributed my summon skulls. If I did summon it, it's to bait out a trap hole.
Okay.
And that's like the only reason why I would summon it, because I had the Monster Reborn in my hand, so the less trap holes the other person has for them to use on me, it's better for me. So I would just Monster Reborn it back and just attack. And there was nothing to fear except maybe a Wabaku or a Mirror Force, which barely anyone had because Mirror Force was a hard pull. I
Yeah.
think maybe only three people pulled it. So
I think that Monster Reborn was another one powerful call you made because I think not everyone realized that it is more versatile, more useful running one extra Monster Reborn than running one extra vanilla monster.
Yeah, it's also like a replacement for monsters because you get them back anyways. So it's like so I have two skulls, but it could be a third, fourth, or fifth copy of someone's skull, and it also gets over trap hole.
Yeah, that's important in this format.
Yeah,
Uh,
so 'cause- yeah,
you are running also tribute of the Doomed,
the triple what?
the magic spell that you discard and destroy opponent monster.
Oh, Tribute to the Doom. Yeah, I was playing. Yeah, I have one in the main and one in the side. So
Oh, you put
Tribute
it
to the Doom
two.
is like, yeah. I was running two, one in the main, one in the side. The reason why I put one in the side or one in the main was because the one in the side deck I could just trade for the manager bug. Because if I win game one, the other person wants to go first, so I go second. I just use the Tribute to the Doom to take out their first monster. Manager bug is something I go for when I'm playing first, so they could run over something, just have an empty field for me to attack on my next turn. But Tribute to the Doom was something I replaced with Manager bugs because it's more faster. I don't have to set it. It requires no setup. It just requires a discard, which I could either discard something like Thunder Dragon, Summon Skull, because I don't really need to summon those. I just get them back anyways with the Monster Reborn. So I think that was the correct decision with the one main, one side.
I totally agree, but specifically because the Thunder Dragon, I mean, that adds value to play Thunder Dragon if you can play Tribute to the Doom.
Yeah,
I can see that you are also playing two Waboku. Interesting choice. And I'm saying interesting choice because at raw card advantage, Waboku is not a card that gives you at least raw advantage. So I see two. Can you talk because that number, the reason behind that
yeah.
number?
So yeah, the reason for Waboku is so that if I have an empty field or someone has a heavy storm, I have a chainable trap card to use on the heavy storm, or if they attack me directly, have something, last me that could save me into potentially getting another turn. But the main reason for running Waboku is for like Manning the Bug and for Wall of Illusion or Immersion of Fate. So the reason why we run it is because if you have a summon skull and you attack into my set Wall of Illusion, or you're trying to get over it, I just use Waboku. You attack it, you lose your monster, and I keep my monster for a tribute, or something that could bait out, something like Fissure. You have to use resources to get rid of the Wall of Illusion, so that's why I ran two. So I figured it's a good bait for it.
You will change one Waboku for another Swords of Revealing Light?
I think swords is fine at one. The reason because you don't want to play multiple swords. It does nothing for you except maybe stall for 3 turns. Um, because
Okay,
sometimes you
so
want your
you
opponent. Yeah,
definitely wouldn't change Waboku for Swords.
yeah. I think swords is fine at one. You don't need to run multiple swords. I don't think I've ever run multiple swords in a deck before.
Okay, okay, well, man, your deck was a
Yeah,
storm in the tournament. Congratulations in your wins. You arise definitely as the best player of the last tournament. Congrats.
yeah. Thanks.
Can you talk about what cards are you expecting from Magic Ruler?
Alright, so Magic Rule is a good, powerful set. The cards I really want most is Cyberjar, Tomatoes, Giant Germs, mainly Painful Choice. And that's because later down the line, we have one of the best sets that came out, which is Invasion of Chaos. So what you want is those good dark monsters early on, because We have because Thunder Dragon is already your light target for Chaos. Magician of Fate is your second one. Shining Angel is your third. So there's very few dark monsters that are really good early on that you want to get like right now before you get to that point because as we progress on, there's lack of dark monsters that you actually play compared to anything else. So yeah,
Nice.
because giant germs, tomatoes, witch, sangan, all of those with tomato, they turbo out your deck faster for more consistency. So cyber jar is pretty good because an extra board wipe, you draw five. It gives you information on what the other player's playing. If you want to card destruction them on your following turn, you could do that. Delinquent duos. We have a whole bunch of discard fodder too coming up in the next set. Snatch Steal is another good card that people want to play, hoping that they get that Snatch Steal because stealing someone's skull or any other card that they have with Snatch Steal. If you have a giant Shune, you just bounce back to Snatch Steal and then use it on something better. But those are the cards that people want to run. But I'm also looking for tomatoes and giant germs.
Okay. Well, thanks for the insights, Venom King, and again, congratulations for your wins.
Yeah, we'll see how I do this next tournament.
Oh, I already know how it's going. I'm beating you.
We'll see. We'll see.
See you later.
All right. All right. See you.